Honey, my name's Ashley Mantwabi, and I'm here with you to do a live stream recorded podcast. We have a special guest here, and we'll be recording our 8th episode with our wonderful guest. So during this live stream, if you have any questions that you want to ask our guests, you can put them in the comments. And after the episode, we'll answer those comments after the podcast, as we'll be doing a live recording of the podcast. So just remember that. And if you have any comments, that's good too. And if you watched the previous episodes and you loved what you're seeing, please share, like, and follow the Magic Storytellers. We are on Facebook and we are also on YouTube. So if you're at home on your phone and watching this live or on the replay, yeah, put it on your TV and yeah, watch it on YouTube. That's where we'll have the podcast set up, and you can enjoy all the episodes that are happening to meet these wonderful artists. So if you could hear me and you could see me, that means we're ready to go and start our podcast.
You've just tuned into Between Two Balls, the show where random rules the game. One ball gives the emotion, the other reveals the character. Imagine being a joyful little robot, sad like a superhero, or angry like a pirate. Arr! Two draws, infinity stories. This is the only show that's powered by bingo balls, and anything can happen.
Ani, my name's Ashley Manitwabi, and welcome to Between Two Balls, the only show powered by bingo balls. We are on episode 8, and we have a wonderful guest here, Jenn Mezei, who's from Rainbow Farm North Garden Center. She also does a lot of other stuff like visual arts. I believe she was a teacher at one time, and she still teaches at home, and she also teaches others in the community. So let's bring Jenn on here, and you see you're all nice and comfy here on the chair here. Did you have your coffee or tea this morning? You don't drink coffee, actually, right? I think you told me that before.
Yeah, well, I started drinking coffee when I had kids because I was like, I need to survive somehow. and the coffee's going to help me do that. But yeah, no, now I just drink decaf because otherwise I get like too excited.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I don't know. But I did have some decaf, yeah.
Yeah, so you had some decaf. Okay, so it kind of helps you in the mornings.
I
Like,
feel like it's
I
like a
have my-"
routine thing. Like it just like it tastes good, and it's definitely not giving my heart a jolts like you
Yeah.
know a lot of people drink it for. But
I used to
yeah,
drink a regular. I don't know if you know what a regular coffee is.
I
It's like
don't.
one sugar, one cream.
Okay.
But now whenever I order a coffee or I make my own, it's black with one sweetener.
Okay.
So
So you just like
yeah, so I'm actually used to drinking black coffee now. And how do you take your coffee?
You know what? I started putting chocolate milk in mine and
Wow.
pretending I'm
Oh,
fancy, and it's like mocha, but it's like just chocolate milk. I love chocolate milk, so yeah, it's
so
good.
what is that like? That's I think there's a name for that kind. Is it a cappuccino or no?
No, I don't think
Um,
it's like yeah, it's like maybe like mochas.
a
Like
mocha.
yeah, you can get chocolate at coffee stores, and they're called mochas, I think. But yeah, the chocolate milk is just like yeah,
Oh,
don't have
okay.
to. It's like sugar and milk all in one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah,
get, you get it all right there.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're here today, and I want to get to know you a little bit more. I do know you. I know others probably don't know you that are listening right now. Um, so what are you currently doing now?
So right now, like we're kind of talking a little bit about gardening stuff. Like, yeah, we like I've this is our fourth season that we're kind of just doing, and it's funny because I think a lot of people are like ask questions like when are they open, like what's going on there, because we really like the first season I had it open for the whole summer to see like who is interested in this, like what we're trying to do here, which is primarily we're focused on growing native plants for native pollinators and that like the known connections that exist there. And that's like a pretty specific type of gardening, but I think more and more people are becoming aware of how important it is because we've just like largely altered our landscapes in ways that kind of make it problematic for nature to exist, basically, right? We've overdeveloped and like done all these crazy things to Turtle Island, and we need to let nature back in so that these systems of life that we depend on can thrive, basically, and can keep existing. And so anyways, it's kind of a little bit niche in some ways. I think a lot of people have always known the importance of nature and of these plants. And there are some different garden centers that do offer these plants or have for a while, but we do that as well as just like annual flowers and annual plants, and try and I was like, well, if we only sell this, like I don't know how long we can actually operate because there's just not going to be enough money to keep it going, basically. So like what other things can we do? And so we have like branched out in a few different areas, but we are also like just aware, I think, of like how kind of inhumane or not great capitalist ways of existing are. And so like you said, I'm teaching my kids at home, so we're like trying to build our life in a way that doesn't let us be totally just like exploited by these systems that expect you to work all the time and just like be pouring yourself like tirelessly and endlessly into whatever. And it's not that we're not doing that, but like we're not having set business hours like a corporation would, right? Where we're open all the time. You can get these things at any time of day or a week or whatever. Like they're actually human beings that are doing this, and it's a really small scale thing. So we get to adjust our hours based on what works for us. And so I think a lot of people like over this like couple of seasons that we've been doing it have started to kind of understand that a little bit better, that I think a lot of people are trying to do that and figure out different ways to be like, well, no, we don't have to operate in the way that things have been done over the last period of 100 or whatever years that capitalism has kind of been the dominant, and it still is. And like people talk about it like collapsing in the 70s, and it still feels like there's a lot of that talk now, but just like a lot of people are working towards that in different ways and like trying to bring things back to local access and just community based, and like how can we support and build these things together in ways that really celebrate and like make things more accessible for everyone, and like make learning opportunities, because like there's so much about like these plants that I don't know, but I'm just like I just want to figure it out. I just want to try. Like I just want to see what happens when I learn about how to stratify the seed, and like this happens in nature. Like I think it's interesting. Sorry, I'm so all over the place, but like thinking about seeds that take maybe more than one season to germinate. Like I didn't know that happened, right? But then I start reading about it and like watching in nature, and like milkweed seeds are one of those things. So people get really frustrated when they're like, "Oh, I planted milkweed seeds, but they didn't come up the next season." And I'm like, I hear you, but that's like something that nature's trying to tell us, is that it takes time, right? Like some of those seeds like have a really a thicker or just a different seed coat structure, that it actually takes a couple of seasons before it to break down and germinate and grow into a plant. So
have you ever eaten your plants before?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
which ones do you like?
So
Based on the native plants that you grow.
That's a really good question. So I was actually with like learning about plants, I'm trying to figure out, like foraging or like just what medicinal plants are out there and like what's safe to eat and whatnot. And like with native plants, I just wanted to say that like there have been some that I've installed for people, and some people have the concerns around, like, well, is this poisonous? Because like milkweed, for instance, has that milky sap. And
Yeah, I was always, when I was growing up, I had a little cut, and they're telling, it's always told to put some of that milk on my cut or on like if I have a blister or something,
Yeah.
or like a wart or anything like that. It's like, oh, it's supposed to help you. So I used to just break it up, put it on there when I was younger. I wasn't quite sure what it did when I was younger, but I did it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I should have maybe asked my parents first.
Yeah, well, see, yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, I want to experiment, but also it's like, well, there's like, there's like some, things that we got to be aware of or whatever. And like with the milkweed, I think when I did it at school, there was concerns like, oh no, like you can actually go blind if that stuff is squirted in your eye, which I didn't know, but I knew that it had some chemical properties that like could be maybe harmful. But then I have read too that like extremely experienced foragers and like people who've, I think done it and pass this knowledge down do eat it or have eaten it, and there's just like specific ways to prepare it that make it safe, and specific ways also to identify it, like this one's got a hairy stem, and the leaves are rounded at the ends, like that's a characteristic thing of milkweed specifically, and like if you can properly identify it and know how to prepare it, then it is perfectly safe, and people have been reliant on those things,
There's been
and that knowledge being passed down for a really long time. Right?
Yeah, based on that knowledge, there's been a lot of knowledge that I've been seeing on social media, and peers, I guess, like me, who like to talk about plants.
Yeah.
And monarchs are something that we could talk about also based on that plant.
For sure.
'Cause I know at my house we have a field across the road, and usually they don't cut the hay until like maybe around this time is when they usually cut the hay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm always observing and seeing this. Are these butterflies, these monarchs, gonna come out? It's like I know growing up I would see lots of them, but I don't know if it's because I'm not always in the field, or what do you think about monarchs and then having the plants?
Yeah. So that was like something I guess I started to learn about, and then I joined like the David Suzuki Foundation has something called the Butterfly Way Squad team, and they have different knowledge keepers and scientists presenting information about basically just insect decline, like, and that being certainly a real thing. Like a lot of people talk about too, like used to see fireflies in abundance, and like I mean they have a period of time, like it's really like here, like you notice them for a period of time, but then they go into dormancy, or it's like where they've mated, and they're just like waiting for the larva to hatch, right? So you see them for a period of time, and it's like during their mating time that you see them. That's why they light up their
Okay,
thumbs,
yeah.
is like to attract
So
each
this
other.
summer I actually seen a lot this summer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was paying attention to it, but I did see a lot this summer.
And I was thinking of that too, because I was like, you see them, and it's really like a period of time, and I was like, oh, why don't you see them after that? And that like then I kind of found out that, but then also, and so there's like different fireflies like all across Turtle Island. So there's like a lot of different types of species, and they might come out during different times. But just in general, insect decline was something that I learned about when I was learning about climate change, and how that's impacted our insects. And it's like not having the habitat, so not having the plants. Which they need to, like with monarchs and milkweed, it's like the only plant that they can reproduce on, because they get the nutrients that they need from this plant. And from learning about it through different people who are like bug experts and whatever, they're talking about how those relationships, it's like a coevolution that happened over thousands of years, right? And so there's a lot of other insects that, if they don't have the plants that they need for getting nutrition, then they can't create the next generation of their species, basically. So another one I like to talk about is like goldenrod, which I didn't know there's like 200 varieties of goldenrod, like, and it's something that definitely has been called like a weed, like you don't need this plant, like especially with big scale agriculture, right? Like the elimination of that plant, just because of how prolific it can be, right? Like the amount of seeds that it throws out and how pervasive it is, like it can, grows through its root systems too. But those plants are like one of the main like basis of our ecosystems, in that they support like hundreds of native bees.
Goldenrods. I think I
Yeah.
noticed the yellow ones. Are they all
Yeah.
yellow?
So they're not all yellow. They are mostly though, right? Like you see like the one that's like kind of like goes like this, like at the top it kind of looks like a triangle. You know,
Okay.
that it's like you'll notice it. It's like some of them it's just it'll be like a little kind of fluffy at the top and then like a tall like skinny stem, but like Canada goldenrod is the one that's one of the names for it. Solidago canadensis, and it's like everywhere right now. And it basically like goldenrod's important because it goes from it's like blooming from midsummer or even earlier all the way until November, basically until we get snow, right? So that's like a really long period of bloom time,
That is a long
and
time.
that's what like the native bees need.
Yeah, I know because there's
Yeah,
not too much flowers out at like this time. This is
right.
like what, mid-September or closer end of September
Yeah.
time
Yeah, and it's
in
basically like the goldenrod,
Ontario.
and then
So
the other one is asters. Like a lot of them are purple. Like there's quite a few asters that are in bloom right now too. But like goldenrod's definitely an important one. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
so you do sell seeds also that that people could purchase, and also you plant those seeds. So those are those seeds that you actually plant, and then people could buy those native plants so they could put them in your gardens.
for
And a lot of
sure.
them are nice flowers too. Like some of them I haven't really noticed, but I had a few from you that we've been planting, and I noticed things coming up. I was like, okay, this is different. I was
Yeah,
like, I'm still trying to get used to knowing certain plants because there is lots of native plants out there, right? But then bringing these new plants in the environment, like in my homestead and garden, and I notice, yeah, they come up. Some of them come up every year.
yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
other thing, and that's really cool about it is like I like to tell people like if you're like me, like I like to do something, but then I'll get distracted and want to do something else because I'm a bit of a squirrel. But like it's nice that they're perennial, so they come back for you every year. So it's a low maintenance situation. Like if you had an area that was grass that you don't want to mow anymore, you could establish like a little meadow with like all of these native plants that are important for our native insects, and then it's really just going to maintain itself unless you're really concerned about like how it needs to look. And you can make it curated, like you can group plants together so that there's like a bunch of cone flowers and then you see like the nice purple blooms, and then maybe there's like some of the taller ones that bloom at a different time, and like how people have like done in horticulture, right, where they organize things to be visually appealing. But I like to think about it as like a decolonizing practice too, to be putting native plants back for so many reasons. But really, it's like we're not in control of nature, and we shouldn't think of ourselves in that way. If we don't exist without nature, right? So if we can allow things to be the way that they want to be,
Yeah.
and let them do their thing and like spread their seeds and just like basically like celebrate abundance and like
Yeah.
you know
So,
uh,
so if someone's interested in planting or interested in starting, is there three seeds you could recommend?
sure, yeah, I think like I can't say enough about goldenrod. That's one that people like really say is like the most important, and a lot of people think that we're allergic to it or like that you get allergies like when you have seasonal allergies, but it's actually not wind pollinated. Ragweed, which is in bloom around the same time, is a plant that is wind pollinated, and so that's like what can cause people to have allergies. So goldenrods is like it's not a bad guy, it's a super good guy. So that's like I would say number one. And this is like from the one scientist I heard talk about it. Well, like they say that cone flowers, so like purple ones, and then black-eyed Susans, like all of the ones in that
Okay,
family. So there's like pale purple cone flowers, there's yellow cone flowers, there's yeah, black-eyed Susans, and they all have that cone, right? Which not only is
yes,
it
that's right.
good
I have
for
those.
yeah,
I have those in my garden. The coneflowers, the purple one.
yeah,
I actually planted those 3 years ago, and I planted next to it. I planted the sunchokes,
nice.
wild ones with the purple skin root,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't see my coneflowers for a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years. This year, they grew as high as the sunchokes, and they're blooming. I was like,
Nice.
what? They're still there?
Yeah.
I was surprised that they came up because I thought, okay, they're gone, and I kind of forgot about them for a few years. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like, as I was thinking about that too, thinking about the roots and like looking into what's something medicinal that I could use, that, or maybe the flowers, or I'm always thinking of what's something I could consume, I guess, because we're consumers, right?
Yeah.
We're designed to be consuming things and buying things and whatever it is. So we're always constantly thinking that way because we grew up that way, right? We grew up to have stores and all of this jazz, and
Mm.
so now I'm trying to change and transform in a different way of thinking, right? So what can I consume? So that's why I planted those sunchokes there. It's like, well, I'm gonna have a shopping mall here, and then put
Yeah,
another area over
totally.
here and over there,
Yeah.
and let's see how the business does.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
a different way of looking at it. So there's like those little things where changing a mindset is really happens. Where did you find your moment in time when you kind of changed your mindset, or you transformed yourself?
I think like you said earlier that I was a high school art teacher, so I was teaching at a school in Stratford, and we had this, like, we always had, professional development days, and someone came in, and there was presentations, and like one of the speakers was this guy Sir Ken Robinson, and he was like talking about um, basically that like creativity in the classroom doesn't really exist anymore, or like just different ways that we need to be actually really focused on how important art is, and like that creativity, without it, like nothing really great is happening, essentially, or like something along those lines. I don't remember exactly, but I was like I just actually want to run out of the school right now. Like
It's like
I
the
feel like
sound.
he's right. Like,
It's like the sound, like you know how you have like a mono sound,
yeah,
but also if you want to bring life to it, you kind of have to add those acoustics or reverb to
yeah,
kind of make it feel more alive, and then it kind of, so that's kind of one a part that kind of brought you to a reawakening, or something that just like, hey, wait a minute.
yeah. It was just like I don't, and I think I'd been thinking about some of those things. Like, I taught art, so certainly is like a fun class, at least for the most part. Like, when kids had ideas about projects, I would not like, we had rules or like whatever like I was supposed to be doing, but I was also like, just what do you want to do, like, and how can I help you do that? Because I think that, if we don't get to be ourselves and figure out what that is, like, nothing else, it doesn't really matter. But and so yeah, that moment for me felt like, I don't know that I really want to be doing this. And then, I mean, stuff happened obviously with the world, and that was kind of part of it too. That, like,
Gave you a
uh,
push.
yeah, it gave me a push to be like, okay, maybe I'll just be a farmer, or like, not I don't know, like, can I do that? Like, not like, it wasn't like overnight, you know what I mean? Like, it was like over a period of time, but I was like, I really love teaching. Like, I certainly enjoyed being in that scenario and being around young people, because I think young people are fun, and they get excited about things that keeps you young and excited. But yeah, I wanted to just like get more land-based learning experience, basically. And I think, like, with my environmental, like, I would do chalk demonstrations in front of the bank, because I'm like, I feel like the corporate interests connected to the government, like, these are problems that we can all see and we acknowledge, but we don't really know what to do. And like, to me, like, being with other people saying like, this is not so great, in a creative way, like drawing pictures, like, or like messages, like I would learn about basically a lot of indigenous frontline land defenders, like the Wet'suwet'en group that was trying, like, trying to prevent more pipelines, basically, in the coast of BC, and be really inspired by, and just like more aware of like what some people have always had to, or felt like compelled to do, in terms of like fighting, basically, like these larger systems that I learned, like, this is how we have the environmental challenges we do, is because of capitalist, colonial, consumptive mindsets. And who are the people that are doing the opposite of that? It's like indigenous people, and I'm like, what can I do to learn from like their experience, and how can I be an ally, basically, and like what does that look like? And yeah, like, learning about plants is definitely something that's like helped me feel just more connected to things that matter, like things that I feel like matter. And yeah, like
What are some?
learning about native plants too, right? Like,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah,
how that makes you feel like more connected to the earth and
yeah,
also to other living beings, and that we're not
yeah.
separate from it. And we've kind of been told that we're above it and we can control and manipulate and do these things to it, and it's going to work out because we planned it and whatever. But it's like, no, that hasn't worked out so well for us. Like, we have to understand how we're
Yeah.
connected, right?
So, based on that connection and having that connection and those challenges, um, how did you get connected to Manitoulin? Because you're not actually from here, right?
No,
But now you
definitely.
are.
Yeah, yeah, I like to call it home now for sure. So my husband's family is like his grandma grew up here, and she had a farm on Squirreltown Road. And so Gav and I both were like, we would live in a van by the river. I always joke, but like we literally, like, we don't need anything or really like, nothing much. And like he always came here like in his summers growing up, and I always went camping as a kid and stuff. And like, yeah, so we would come out to the island together, and like I just started noticing like different things about being here. Like I loved, like we would hike into him and his cousins built this like cabin on the water. I don't know, a long time ago. And like when we first had our kids, like we would come in the winter and like hike in and like stay. And the one time I didn't have the right boots on, and I got like crazy soakers, and I was like, I might die. Like I have a baby. I'm like, this seems crazy. That's extreme, but it was like winter time, and we walked out to this cabin. But like we just like being out, and like you look up and you're under all these stars, and it's so beautiful. And like the other thing is like I started to learn about Autumn Pelche, and the amazing work that she's done as a water protector. And then I was like, like looking into it, like Wikwemikong, and like learning about like what's an unceded territory, like what does this mean, like because it's not something obviously that we're taught about. And to me, like that was a big draw, because I'm like, this is a place that exists that has resisted colonial governments from the beginning. And what to me is more powerful than that? Like nothing. Like there is more nature and life and things thriving here than a lot of other places on this continent, and that's for a reason. And I feel like, I mean, I met Theodore Flamand, and
Theater. So
yeah,
he's with the species at risks. I believe that's the main kind of program he does in
yeah,
Ukumakang.
yeah.
So what are some of let's talk about some experiences you had being with
Uh,
Theodore, because
oh,
he's
so
a
many.
funny guy.
He's so funny, and he's just really sweet, and he's so connected to his place, and to life, and like things that like I was like, I'm excited to learn about this, and like this person seems to know so much. And like he came to the greenhouse, he was like, oh, I heard you're doing native plants, and like tell me about that. And like, and he was like, oh, well, you should come out to the marsh. And like, the prairie marsh is like this alvar which has all these plants that like again are just like, they're rare, right? Like Manitoulin has these kind of rare ecosystems, and I think it's because of like the fierce protection and presence of Indigenous people, just understanding that connection and being here and being like, this is what we're interested in exploring and preserving, basically, right? And like the cultural reclamation that's happening there, like they built like he has like they have a teepee that's built there, but like at the Prairie Points, and they run this camp for the youth in the summertime, and I got to volunteer at that last summer. And it's just been really great to see how his passion is really focused on making sure that these experiences and passion for the land that he has get passed on to next generations, right? Like he's got this focus on the next 7 generations that I just think is so powerful and like really cool to see.
Yeah,
So I've been lucky to like get to go
it
there.
is good to connect with people that you could relate to and who are kind of doing the same things, thinking the same kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think it was like 15 years ago, or maybe earlier. One of the things that I was thinking is like, I'm trying to plant, I'm trying to do all these things and save these seeds and bring awareness of things. I was like hoping, okay, and hoping I don't have to save all of these seeds every year and plant them. So, and then I think my wish came true, and there's a lot of people like you and others on Manitoulin that are saving seeds, bringing seeds, helping people to learn about seeds and to plant those seeds also and to put them in their gardens and connect with creation. It's our 6 Foot Festival is that's our theme is Aki no Oma, and that's the Earth's language. So how could we bring voice to the Earth? And I think you're naturally already doing it on what you're doing. You're bringing a voice.
Well, that's
and bringing
obviously
that
a
Earth.
super
Yeah.
super big compliment.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm certainly trying, but yeah, I like when you said that was the theme for this year. I was super excited to hear that, and I'm so glad you started to talk about seeds because that is another thing. Like with doing local food Manitoulin, like having joined that with you, I was watching like the video where you were teaching about seeds.
Where do you find that? I don't even
It's
know
on
where
the
that is.
website.
Oh, it's on the website.
It's on local food Manitoulin, and yeah, you were doing like a talk about the importance of seeds and passing them on, and like another person that I feel like also talks about this is Vandana Shiva, right? Like with the just like making sure that people are aware of like what corporations have done basically.
I
And,
did
like,
see her in person once. She's a
What?
pretty cool lady in
Yeah.
Peterborough.
Cool.
There's a conference over there that I presented me and Sunny.
Nice.
And yeah, she has some allies and people, and she talked a lot about what she was doing and how you kind of just have to put action and
Yeah.
just do your thing, and
Yeah.
and then things will change. Things will naturally, you'll be around different people, right? It's just like anything. When you want to do something and you're passionate about it, passionate people that do what you do will be around you also. So
Big time.
it's not something that you have to think you're going to be lonely with, but you know that there's other people that are there, and some people might not be out to share it too much right now, but you'll probably meet even more people that are doing the same thing, and you kind of connect and make the plants strive.
Yeah.
And
That was one thing I was gonna say too. Is just like from watching that video of you talking about it, how you brought up like you mentioned the word abundance, and I feel like to me that's been like a recurring theme of like any Indigenous book that I've read that is like talking about what they like lessons they've learned or things that they're pulling out, and like abundance is like just like a reoccurring thing. And when you said it in that video, I was like, oh, I have to like part of my 6 foot, like what I wanted to do was like have that word, because I think like what capitalism does is it really trains us to think that there's limited and like scarcity, and like try and like make you believe that there's not enough for everybody, and that's just not true. And like the seeds teach us that, right? And like yeah, I think it's really incredible, because like it's amazing when you go to a plant and you're like trying to save some seeds from it, and you're like how many seeds are here? Like there's so many, like depending on what the plant is, but like yeah, I don't know, dandelions, anything, and then just like they offer it up freely, right? And
yeah, there's thousands of them.
Right.
Thousands and thousands.
And that's why the seed swap that you guys do, it's like such a powerful thing. It's amazing thing, because it isn't something that should be like hoarded or bought. Like you shouldn't have to buy and sell these things, and like but like be able to preserve it in community and just like give it to each other and share these things, right? And like I don't know, I love seeing things like there's like book libraries that people put like the books that they've read out, and you can take books and put them back in, and there's like seed libraries like
getting
that
those
too.
Connections of community.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the community now that where you're at here in this area?
Well, I think DeBarge is such a big part of it. To me, like I really, like I've been like having these thoughts and feelings, and I'm like, oh, like, and then like I can't remember like my first experience here, which I was trying to think of the other day, but like
I think I remember you brought your family for pizza.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the first one.
Well, that was like one of the first
I think
times.
that's when I
for
remember.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of the first
but
times,
also
yeah.
like you came to the greenhouse too, and
yeah.
I think before that, but yeah, I think this is just like such an amazing community, because I think like everyone I've met here like really knows who they are and like wants to be the most themselves, and like is like so welcoming, and just like yeah, like you always have the most amazing food, and you're just like so like you just want people to like be together and celebrate like all of the good things. And I think that like the improv show that you did recently was so much fun. Like there's just like I could never be an actor. I mean, like in awe of people that go like in front of other people and do
Would
stuff
you
on
join?
stage.
Would you join us if we did some improv
I would
classes?
be terrible. You'd be like, no, this is not working, Jen. Like you're
Mm,
not that funny.
there
But
is magic. There is magic in this creation center here.
big time.
Give you a few weeks or a few months, and then you'll be like, "Wait a minute, I'm on stage and I'm doing this."
Yeah.
I see it happening all the time. So I think because when we're younger, if you watch your children play, they have a lot of creativity,
Yeah.
and we kind of lose that kind of creativity a little bit because we have responsibilities and we have to do all this other things when we grow up.
Totally. And sometimes we get caught up, like I know this of myself, I get caught up in the like too serious of like, what is climate change, whatever, like what solutions, whatever. But like to me, like you guys embody, you are the solution. You are already doing all of these things because you are holding on to your joy and your playfulness, and like you're just like, like that is more important than anything. Like it's like really it's because it's welcoming and it helps people to move forward, right? And like I
Yeah.
think somebody mentioned on the podcast about moving forward, like that's what we have to focus on. You can be informed about like about the past and what's happened, but you can't be really overly focused on that. You have to be like, what can I do to move us ahead, right? And
Yeah, and there's also just recently I heard there used to be something called pay it forward also. Like how could someone pay it forward, right?
yeah,
And I think it's all about that's some wise words I heard this weekend is paying it forward because when you give back you're just gonna get even more. So that's kind of something I heard this weekend, and you're constantly learning from people that go through things in life, and you kind of hear things on how they're changing and how they're doing things. So I think it's really important to have change, and I know you brought something that you constantly change, like this beautiful stuff that you have here that you're hiding a little bit.
yeah.
Would
Well,
you
I
want to
noticed other
tell?
people were doing like
Would
kind
you
of
want to
like
tell me
showing
about
some
how you
things.
changed this blank piece of paper
Yeah.
into beautiful art?
So yeah, like
And then
for
just explain to us a little bit some of the details or visuals that.
Sure. So for my 6 foot, we have this old trailer that was just like at the farm, and it's like this really rough surface. And I was like, well, I would like to like have a big surface because like I just like painting like things bigger because I think it's like plants and insects particularly like they're so tiny and maybe that's why we don't notice them or pay as much attention to them, but if we can like kind of blow up what that looks like, then we can like just get more into like that world, right? And so I've had this idea of like doing like paintings on that surface, but it's really like rough and kind of old and like has layers of paint and stuff on it. But
Okay, can you show us like one or two
yeah, I
images?
showed. So this guy is like one of the fritillary butterflies that I painted recently. So it's just like watercolor on this marker drawing that I did. Yeah, but so basically what I'm going to do is like I have a bunch of these things that I've drawn on paper, and like last year for my cube, I hung them from the cube. But I was thinking of like I really like the process of wheat pasting, which is something that street artists like. That's like kind of the beginning of street art, is like just like gluing posters to surfaces that are public, because it's kind of like the people's conversation. Like it doesn't, I don't need permission to say this. Like we should all have freedom of expression, and we should all be able to put our feelings and thoughts out in the world, especially when you think about like advertisements get to occupy billboards, right? And like buy this Coke or whatever like they're trying to sell you, and like why can't art just be everywhere, right? And that's why you see like so many street art festivals like being like just like continuously building on themselves and becoming bigger and bigger, because
I see
that's
it like
like
a
the message of the
rejuvenation
people.
or a refuel of the spirit, kind of going to those kind of events.
Totally, because you're like surrounded by people who are so passionate about whatever their topic is or their subject matter, right? And it's like different representations of, you know, a more like a greater variety of voices, like beyond what you typically see in mainstream, or like and you know, like, yeah, art is just people celebrating whatever their feelings or their passion is focused on. So it's really, yeah, I love, like, I went to the Up Here festival in Sudbury recently, which is like, I'm so like so excited about how cool and neat it is to be able to see like all of the artists that they attract, whether it's like the musicians, or like the visual artists that are doing the murals. Like Young Yemi is someone who does like Afrocentric, like Afrofuturism, I think is their focus. And yeah, a lot of times it's like black and white. And then there was another artist who last year, I'm blanking on her name right now, but she did like a wheat paste mural, which is cool because wheat paste is like, it's temporary, right? Like you basically, it's like flour and water that you mix together, right? And then you just glue sheets of paper onto surfaces.
What would you say to people that value their art, or they like, I don't want it to go
Well,
away?
I think the fact that it's temporary is what is kind of exciting about it, right? Like, you know, the weather's going to do whatever, and it's going to eventually deteriorate, and not long after. But like sometimes it kind of surprises you how long it lasts, because I've done it a couple of times, like on a big scale in Stratford. And like I haven't actually tried it on the one that I'm going to do for like the 6 foot, and I need to do that today or tomorrow. But
So it's
we'll see what happens.
That's
but
exploring too, right?
Exactly.
So exploring what opportunities you could
Yeah.
strive on, and we're always failing, and we're trying new things, and
That's
we have successes, we have failures. That's all about the journey, right?
For sure. Yeah. So I did.
Maybe show us one more.
Okay. Yeah, that one's from last year. This one's really tiny. This is like a bigger one that I painted. It's like, yeah, just a plant that's like got in a container. It's a chamomile, but yeah, I'm just gonna cut it out. Basically, it's like big collage kind of, and glue it onto the surface, and hopefully it will work. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but
that. Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but like I said, what I think is cool about it is like literally anyone can do this, and like street art to me is like really exciting because it's for everybody, right? It's not like it's in a gallery and you have to pay to go and see it or whatever. Not that like I don't appreciate it, or like, you know, like there's value in that too, but like having art outside that celebrates life, you know, in front of people, and individual expression is really exciting.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, and kind of your perspectives on where you're at right now. I really appreciate it. I think others will appreciate it too on your journey to be here on Manitoulin Island, and you have a business here, Rainbow Farm North Garden Center, and you do a lot of workshops there, and yeah, it's always enjoyable going there, and also meeting other people that go there that are interested in what you do. So this next part is we're gonna do Between Two Balls. So are you ready? Let's roll with it.
And now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Between two balls. Here's how it works. We'll pick one ball with an emotion and one ball with a character. Then Ashley will become that emotional character, and the interview keeps rolling. Let's see what we pull today.
All right, can we shuffle those balls?
And 33 falls under the emotion jealous.
Jealous. Okay, did we have that one before or no? Yeah, okay. Emotion jealous.
One falls under the character
Pirate. It's kind of weird how we're getting these emotions that we kind of use the intro for, right? I wonder if I'm just putting it out there in the universe where we're getting these emotions. All of this stuff is random to let everyone know that I'm gonna have to have a character pirate to be jealous as I ask questions to Jen here. So, Jen, um, there's going to be a jealous person coming on for this segment. So, don't take it to heart. And hopefully, the tension will create some things that we haven't known about you before, okay?
Okay.
And I'll take it easy on you too,
Sounds
okay?
good.
Or hopefully, the pirate takes it easy on you. All right, are
Can't
we
predict.
ready? Okay. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am Pirate Jim, and I have this well-fellowed person here with me that I seem to don't quite understand as much as things that I have on my ship. I have plenty of sauces and plenty of juices and plenty of barrels that have been fermenting. I want to ask you, Jen, what's your unique strength or gift that people might not notice right away?
Oh, um, I don't know. I guess like I'm not afraid to try things. So like my garden is a crazy mishmash of things, and yeah, it's like kind of a big experimentation of just like seeing what works. Like I feel like a lot of seed packs would get them, and it'll be like, this is how you have to do this, and like rows and spacing. And I'm like, well, what if we didn't do it that way? And also a lot of other people just talking about you can mix plants up and like polyculture it's called, I guess, and like see what and how the plants grow. And like my carrots have grown very well like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like planted with the spacing that they always recommend.
How do you know so much, Jen? You could probably talk for days and days and days. Me, as a lonely pirate on my ship, I always wanted to plant a garden. So, what is some daily grind you think would work on my pirate ship if I had gardens?
Oh, gardens on your pirate ship. I don't know. Like, what do you like to eat? Like,
I love the fish, I love the herbs, and I like to ferment anything that I could grasp from the sea.
okay. Yeah, I feel like dill is super easy to grow. I feel like herbs. And really easy to save the seeds. Like, it's got like a nice big seed head. Do you have like, I don't know, do you have a space that you've created to like put some soil in or something? Do you have,
What do you mean, space?
well,
I
like,
got the sea. And what kind of space are you talking about?
well, I mean, you can grow things in just water too, right? Like aquaponics and that. I don't know anything about that, or don't know how that would
What do
work.
you mean? I believe you're not trying to share some information here.
You're right. I'm trying to be real secretive around you, and not give you
And that's
all.
her secret sauce, folks. Is being secretive to the pirate and I. I know that I could be wise in the seas, but when I'm inland, I'm a fragile guy that wonders about this place. As you know, I'm just here to pick up some herbs, like such as you said. Do you plant dill?
Yeah, yeah. I plant dill. Sometimes dill just comes because I don't know. Like I planted it before, so like you said before, like it comes back, it can come back on its own because it just dropped a whole bunch of seeds, and those are. I like those plants when it's just like unplanned and you end up getting a surprise in your garden that you can use.
Wow, it sounds so easy for you. So easy that it could just fall on the ground and then regrow. There's many things that fall down below and sink to the sea, and I'd never think I would find them ever again. You're a lucky soul, I say. If you were on my ship, you wouldn't last a day with me. I want to know, as I'm suffering on this land with you in all your abundance, what keeps you going on the hard days?
What keeps me going on the hard days? I like making art, I guess. Like, it's definitely a big thing. Or like playing with my kids, going outside. Like, we like to go fishing. I like to fish too, just like you, but I'm not very good at it. Um, but we go out sometimes on the canoe, and that's really nice. Or
A
just,
canoe,
like,
you say?
yeah.
And how do you get a canoe when you're a land person?
Well, there's like Facebook Marketplace and people sell stuff. And it's sometimes you get a really good deal. It was like pretty good deal. We can't necessarily afford to get a brand new canoe, but they're like, yeah, Facebook Marketplace. We got one for it was like $200 and some.
$207.
Yeah.
That's like me searching for this gold for years.
Yeah.
And you're talking like you could just go online on Facebook and buy a canoe on Marketplace. Oh my God. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how it's so easy for you. Some days I think that I need to retire from the sea. What do you think a future could be for yourself being on Manitoulin in the next few years? If you were here for maybe 10 years from now, how do you think I could survive also on this land?
It's a good question. I think we both probably just got to keep doing some land-based learning and being curious about what kind of things are happening outside, because we spend so much time inside. You're stuck in your boat all day, or on the sea. You don't get to interact with the plants and the animals and the things that we like. If we don't have them to eat, then how do we survive, right? So I think we got to get outside more and just search out these opportunities for people who have knowledge about what maybe we could use to make a canoe ourselves if we wanted to. That's a skill set that's pretty admirable.
You have all the answers in the world.
No, I don't.
These answers that I've been searching all my life. Went 40 plus years doing these battles with other boats and canoes. I always have to distance myself and be in the center of the sea where it's lonely. What's something fun that makes you laugh and lights up your day? I think I need some of that.
So you want to take my kids then, because they're fun for sure.
Kids? You want me to take kids?
Yeah, sure. You have some
I'm
jobs
scared of kids.
you could get them to do on your ship.
They could probably do plenty of things on my ship. They could be scrubbing the floors because there's like an inch thick of grubs and gills.
Oh.
They would probably get stuck once they step on board in that one place. So we might need more than 2 kids. We might need a whole crew to help. Perhaps that would be a good time is today, because I need a new restart, because all of these thoughts and emotions that I have are getting to me. I want to know something about you also. I know you have all the answers, but if you could give advice to oneself, what would you say?
Definitely that I don't have all the answers, and that there's so much to learn. Yeah, I always seeking out opportunities to learn from people and things to be curious about, and just try things that you don't think that you could do, because I think you were talking about change before too, and I think that's one of the best things that we can do is to keep changing and
the change is prevalent for me. I'm a person from the sea, and I should live there until my last breath on that boat, and that's where I will be given back to the waters, to everybody that's down below in the sea. There's one more final question that I want to ask you, because I am proud to be on the waters, and I have survived this many years to be on the waters. I know you can survive on the land, and I envy that so much, as I want to retire, but I don't think I could have a retirement, because I think I would go insane in my brain. But I want to know, something that I'm proud of is catching and meeting and seeing the sunrise and the sunset, as you can see it on the horizon every morning. And I think that's what I'm most proud of being on the water. What's one thing that you're proud of?
I guess I'm proud of like taking risks, like which I feel like you talked about, like, you know, like the like phases of like being a kid and getting to play and like um, I don't know what it is exactly, but like I feel like I've always like had enough like love in my life or something that makes me feel like I can be myself. And if you can be yourself, then you feel comfortable doing things that are outside of your comfort zone.
You're so lucky to have love in your life. There's been lonely Pats. The only I love that I have is when I find that treasure. Until next time, everybody, keep on rolling those oars. And I'll see you next time. And that's the end of Between Two Balls. That was kind of a little bit of a challenge for me, but
You did
I was
great.
trying because you were just acting so normal.
I was acting too normal.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be easy. I like jealous people. I like when people are jealous of me.
Oh no, I don't.
That was a challenging one for me. I was trying to, how am I gonna be jealous?
Yeah, jealous being jealous is tricky for
How
sure.
how does someone become jealous?
I don't know.
Is it like when you kind of,
I don't know how do you act that? Yeah.
so when you kind of see them accomplishing more than you, maybe,
Yeah, I
or
guess
maybe
so.
like you see them doing more. It's like, oh, I
Well, I
wish I
guess
could
like
be
I don't know.
like
I
that.
feel like, you know, like we live in a time where like you can see everybody's stuff, right? Like so like that's one thing I don't love about technology, right? Is like if you're like there's, you know, there's good things that you see that you get inspired by, but then if you see someone that's doing things that you think like, oh, like I wish I could do that, or like they're doing so much more than me, and you get these like those like can be really interruptive and like prevent you from doing the good stuff that you would be able to focus on if you had no idea that that was happening, right? So I think that's like when people talk about, you know, social media especially, there's like things to be aware of, or just like
And there's breaks from social media
oh
too, like
yeah, and yeah, people are
that
doing those like
helps
detoxes or
helps people because they notice there's lots of uh, I don't know what you call that, away behavior
yeah,
and not too much forward thinking behavior when we're focusing on our daily lives, and it can become
big time. I
distracting.
think
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's really not great for our mental health. And I feel like a lot of different people say that for a lot of different reasons. Because it's like, yeah, you can ruminate on stuff or just like get caught up in other people. And like, it doesn't matter because I don't know. I feel like Linda was talking a lot about like people having gifts and like being able to use your gifts. And if you're too focused on those jealous emotions or feelings that you
Other
have
people's gifts.
about other people's gifts, like then you don't get to access your own or like do what you want to do with your life or what you're meant to be doing, right? So
Yeah, doing what you love and doing what you care about and something that you want to do, right? And I think some people can be lost, right, in this world and wondering um, what is something you would say to someone that may be listening that might be lost out there, or like not lost, but like still trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing?
yeah, I don't know. I guess like in me choosing something like retiring early from teaching, like and like choosing a path that is not conventional or not like what I don't know, like what I went to school to do. It's like that was like something that was like a move that's like being true to myself. And I think that that's another thing that I really value about Debauch. I think like what you're fueling here, and specifically like with the way you're doing this podcast, like people getting people to tune into their emotions and accessing that awareness about like what these different emotions mean for each of us. Like if we can be aware of those things, then we can really just like validate our own thoughts and opinions and say, you know, like maybe this is an unconventional choice that I'm making, but it's like being true to myself because I'm listening to my feelings. And I think there's so much people talking about that, whether it's like, you know, dealing with generational trauma, like how do we do it? How do we deal with that? We have to be able to talk about it and talk about real things and the way they make us feel and the way, you know, different things bring about different emotions and what that can mean for us. So I think that for people to not shy away from their feelings, but to say, okay, this is trying to tell me something about what I'm meant to be doing. Like I don't, because a lot of like when I hear people talk about healing from generational traumas, it's like if we don't talk about these things and process our emotions around them, then we're storing that in our body, and that's what causes like sickness, right, and illness in different ways. And I think that, you know, like if you just like feel it and put it out there, and like no one like realize that that's okay, that like, and try and surround yourself and around people that are accepting of that and like encouraging of that, then you don't feel as weird or abnormal, because you're like, no, I'm just being me. And you know,
Speaking of being me, there's a lot of stuff that you do, and you could kind of see it in your artwork and the way you talk. That yeah, you're being you, and it's always nice to put on that true self. And I think you connect with people more. Even I know we're the Wajimajig storytellers, and we tell stories, and that's how we connect with people, is sharing those stories, and how those stories kind of are connected with us, and then it helps us to move forward, and also could also change us also by hearing someone else's story. And yeah, I just like to thank you about that. So speaking about social media, because there's probably people tuning in on social media, but also on YouTube. How could people connect with Jenn Mezei?
Yeah, so like we do I have Instagram accounts just at Rainbow Farm North, and or you can email rainbowfarmnorth@gmail.com if you have any questions. We're on Facebook, but I really just try not to go on Facebook very much, except for this week, because I wanted to see these podcasts that, like, these artists that you're interviewing, because yeah, I know, like, it's fascinating to hear, like, Dan and I are friends, and you know, hearing more about like his art practice, like it's like it's amazing. And then like I loved hearing all of them. It's so I like.
So where could they find you in person?
In person, yeah, sometimes at Rainbow, like in the garden over there. But
You do workshops too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the workshops, I was talking to a girl, Sammy from Wiki, about doing a workshop together, and I kind of mentioned to you too, like if you wanted to get in on this, like we were just trying to come up with a day in October, because I did a few in the summer and it was super busy, and now I'm like I was like really wanting to focus on like this project, and then so we haven't done any for a couple of weeks, but yeah, so if we're just coming up with a date in October to find a time to do something out at the farm. I have like a bunch of plants that I've dried and stuff, so we could do like wreath making, and she had a coffee cart in Wiki, she was telling me, and she was asking if we could do a collab, and I said yeah. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out, and beyond that, yeah, I do markets too, which for now they're just like less, because you know, we're kind of at the end of the growing season, but yeah.
Are you coming to the Bajamajig's harvest market?
I was just going to say, I will be at the market this weekend, and I'm doing, like, I did the harvest festival with Nojmo and Tej they had a harvest day in Shag a couple weeks ago, and then there's one coming up in Chking too for their harvest festival, and we'll be at that too.
Wow, so yeah, so if you want to get hold of Jenn Mezei, there's plenty of places you could go in person to find her. That's probably always the best place, and because she's always on the go. And she's you're also a teacher at home, and you run gardens, and you do a lot of different things. You're a busy lady. You sound busier than me.
Well, I don't think so. You have a lot of projects on the go.
We're all busy, and it's good to keep busy.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you, Chimigwech, Jenn, for sharing
Thank you
today.
for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's always good to have a conversation with you, and
likewise,
to see what's going on, and what's going on in life and what's going on out there when you're doing this great work that you're doing. So, Chimigwech. So, I just want to thank everyone. Um, if you enjoyed this episode, to press that like, follow, and share. And if you have any inquiries, yeah, message us. You could also message storytellers at debauch.ca. But the last thing that I want to say is thank you for watching and listening to Between Two Balls. Until next time, keep rolling with it.
You just rolled through another round of Between Two Balls. Remember, emotions, characters, chaos all come from the bingo cage. Subscribe, leave a review, and tell us what character and emotion should we pull next. Nahal. I love you. Zaganim. Guamin. See you later.
I know, I was like watching, like he's got the.
And we are back. We have enjoyable time here recording that podcast, episode 8. And yeah, thank you for sharing all that information and
Thank you.
making a successful
having me.
episode.
That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Just remember that, episode 8. You're on the record now.
Yeah, it's out there in the world.
Yeah. So if there's anybody that has any questions for Jenn Mezei or comments, she's a great person. She's easy to talk to. She's always easy to talk to. Like, I always have easy time talking to her, and I think people have easy time to talking to me too. So
Yes.
yeah, I think we need more gentle person in the world. Yeah, to be gentle with each other and respect each other and respect Mother Earth.
Yeah, I was
just
really
what you're doing.
excited to hear like that you were gonna do a podcast, because I feel the same, Ashley. It's like really easy to talk to you, and it's so nice to hear like what you're excited about and the projects that you're working on. And I think like this is like the idea to do a podcast is really cool, just to like talk to all the people that you're connected to, because I think that you've created such a really great community here. And I don't know, I'm super grateful.
I didn't create
to
the
have met.
community.
Well, like you're part of it, bringing everybody together.
Part of the
right?
community,
For sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't put all that in me.
No, I mean the whole team at Debauch.
Just putting responsibility on me. I would like to hand it over. Well, if there's no questions, you know what that usually means? Everybody's in awe, and it's like you kind of explained it to the T, to the ta, and
I don't know about that.
this usually happens, and usually they're probably like, yeah, man.
I hope they're like, yeah, man.
Do you have anything else that you would want to share with people?
No, I'm super grateful like for the chance to hang out and talk. I'm like, this is like super impressive. I love the setup you guys got going here.
Yeah, these are actually from the Culture Hub, these chairs.
Yeah, they're super comfy.
This
Cozy
quilt was handed over to us by a lady down the street
Oh, nice.
for Every Child Matters Day.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. So she kind of made this in regards to that. And yeah, we also have like artwork from Hope Eshkabuk. That's actually my daughter. She made that in 2 summers ago, I believe. For
So good. How's she doing at school?
she's doing good. She's doing good. She's busy, and she's enjoying it. I'll be seeing her, I think, next week. She'll be coming down.
Awesome.
And then we also have the petroglyph teachings behind us. You can see them. They're all around us, giving us those mnemonic reminders. And I think this is the only floor where we have a colorful tile. But if there's no questions or comments, spread love and share. And yeah, we'll see you next time at 1 with
How many more guests do you have?
Chantal. We have coming this afternoon.
Awesome.
So keep a lookout. All right, Kwame.